I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor, your host. We're going to talk about practical and tactical information here today in this live stream episode. So I'd love to hear where you're coming in from, and I'd love to hear what was attractive to you about coming to this particular live stream. So let me know in the comments. Lessons from the Cockpit is brought to you by the VA Connection. And at the VA Connection, we work with new and established virtual assistants, and we help them create thriving businesses with the skills they already have, so you guys can skip the struggle and get right to work. And we do this in our online community, our courses, and our coaching programs. And today we are streaming all over the place. We're on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook in multiple places. We are on Twitter and YouTube. So if you're coming in from YouTube, click the subscribe button so that you'll be notified every time we go live. All right. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself, and then I'm going to take a look and see who's joining us. All right. So, whoops. Oh, that's so funny. The picture's not showing. That happens sometimes. So there's a picture of me and my little daughter, usually right here. And she was 9 years old in the picture. It was 2010. And I was just starting out my virtual assistant journey. And it was a little challenging. At the time, I was a newly single mom. I didn't have a job. I had a ton of debt, like all the things. And we had to move, oh my gosh, 3 times in 4 years, which is a lot of moving. So there was just struggle everywhere. And because I was so overwhelmed and uncertain, I had no idea how I was going to get out of this mess. But I knew that I had to figure something out. And I also knew that working, like for $50,000 or $60,000 wasn't going to cut it, because I had a ton of debt, close to $100,000, taxes I had to handle, all these things. And I had to sort of bust a move. And so I figured I needed to go out on my own, where I could be in charge of how much money I made, right? And not have to be in those, we all have had these meetings, right? You go in with the boss and they're like, okay, you did a great job. Here's 1% or 2%. It's just not enough to get out of the mess, So I decided to do admin work. I liked admin work. I was good at it. I was a secretary back in the dark ages. I was an office manager. So I kind of knew my way around, a desk. And I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I can help people. So that's what I did. I started telling everybody I knew, just like I tell you guys to do. And the first person that I told who hired me was actually at the school bus stop. So same people for years at the school bus stop. And one day, one of the guys said, one of the dads said, what's new? And I said, I'm starting a business, doing admin work. I'm really excited. And he was so excited, and he hired me because he had just started a business and I had no idea. I had no idea. My second client, I got it at a wedding, in a wedding buffet line. So you never know where clients are going to come in from. And my point here is that please stop prospecting, looking for people who maybe need you. Instead, let the people who want virtual assistants to come to you and tell everyone so that there's a path so they can find you. All right. We want to leave a trail of breadcrumbs so people can find us. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit. So I've been in business as a virtual assistant since 2010. I've worked with over 200 clients and created a revenue stream of $70,000 the first year I was working, and $100,000 every year after that. So well over $1 million. And a lot of people ask me, they say, were you running an agency? Were you training people? Where did that money come from? And it came from me sitting in the chair I'm sitting in right now and doing the work. At the height of my career as a virtual assistant, I had 52 or 53 clients, and I was able to manage the work and prioritize myself. And you can do that too. I didn't do that out of the gate. It took, a few years for me to build up to that. But that's how I was able to make the money. And now here's what it looks like today. So this is my husband, Greg. We got married. It's going to be almost, well, it's only January and we got married in August, but we're already saying, wow, it's almost been 2 years. It's been a year and a half. And these are our kids. This is David and Charlie and Emily and Stephen and Andy. And now life is different. I have a thriving business. We're not handling minimum payments, which are exhausting. I used to know when the electric bill had to be paid, the date, so I would never miss it. And it's just not like that. And I can breathe again. And the thing that is interesting is that I learned is that I only have to depend on myself to be successful at this. I don't have to, it's strange to say, because probably you're going to think, what is she talking about? But in every economy, in every situation, there are always business owners who are thriving, no matter what the circumstance of the world. And they're always needing help. There's no shortage of work. And the way that I teach you guys, there's also no competition. So you don't have to worry about that. All right. Yeah. Tristy says, I want to breathe. Yeah. So let's look at who's here today. So Maria's here from Pennsylvania. Hello. Dana's here from snowy Colorado. We had flurries today. I was pretty excited. They're over now, but I would like some snow. Hello. This is Frederica from Amsterdam. Hello from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Billings, Montana. Svetlana's here from South Africa. Carol's here from Nairobi. Hello, Svetlana says. Oh, Melanie, you like my new glasses? Yeah, this is a totally new thing for me, but Greg and I went shopping a week ago. I've had them for a while and I've been too chicken to wear them, but here they are. We're debuting them today. Heather's here from Chattanooga. Awesome. Dana, comparing myself with others is a common pastime for me. And I would love to ditch. I know that comparison is the thief of joy. It's debilitating, life-sucking. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Flora's here from Florida. Veronica's here. Good morning. Hello. Oh yeah, Heather. Yeah, that I just thought of that today. I thought that's pretty cool, right? I'll leave a trail of breadcrumbs so people can find us. Yes, gentle and inviting. All right, good. Tristy wants to breathe. Hello from Georgia. Kimberly's in Atlanta. Oh, good. Jenny loves the glasses. We're in the middle of an ice storm. Oh, yeah. We're going to have, I was thinking about Jenny this morning. She has chickens too. And it was cold earlier, I think in December, and we're going to get down to 1 degree. So I just said to Greg, we'll just bring the chickens in the house and put them in front of the fire. And he looked at me like, Good. All right. So Claire's here from St. Lucia. Hello. And Anna is here from Helena. It's Helena, right? Montana. Yeah, that's like beautiful country out there. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's dive in. Thanks for coming, you guys. I love when you all come. Now, so some of you have sort of alluded to what happens when we, when we compare ourselves to others. Dana said it was the thief of joy, and that's true. So the way I think of it is, it's deadly, right? It's deadly because this is what happens when we compare. It breaks our spirit. Right? It's also human nature, but it beats us down, right? So even though it's human nature, we're the ones who decide if we're going to indulge in it, okay? And you might be the rare bird who, sees what someone else is doing and gets inspired, like, oh, look what they're doing. I am going to go do that. But most of us don't, we don't. And what happens is we feel behind. Right? We feel behind. So tell me, is that like what happens to you guys? Do you feel behind? Do you feel like, what the heck? And it makes us quit. It makes us quit. And one of the reasons I got into so much trouble with the business I had before, Rocket Girl, is because I had an online baby gift boutique, and it was, the internet was new, like it was really new, and there weren't a lot of us doing this. And there was one woman who was like, I don't know, a year ahead of me. And I spent endless hours and glasses of wine late at night looking at her website and chasing her, like literally chasing her. Well, she did this, I have to do that, and what happened as a result is that my business closed, and hers is still thriving. So that was a big lesson for me, to just see the heartbreak and what trouble it cost. Because the thing is when you compare yourself to someone else, you're not trusting your own brain, right? You're not trusting your own brain. And the thing, and I know that that people can stop it, because I stopped it. Now you can look at what other, like I said, what other people are doing and be inspired. But when I started the VA connection, I started looking at what other VA trainers were doing. And I noticed quickly the feeling again of feeling bad, feeling, desperation, scared. It really crushed my confidence. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough, and that the other people were smarter and that there was no place for me. Right? Okay, so that's pretty much it right there. So what I decided instead is to stop looking. And it took a little while. It took practice. It took me saying, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're doing this instead. And then what I had to do was I had to go inside myself and trust myself and say, you're not going to do it like other people. You're going to do it the way that you believe it to be the best way to do it. And I am inspired by people in other fields. I mean, there are people online that are amazing. And yes, I look at what they're doing and I'm inspired by it, but I don't spend time at all looking at what other people specifically in this field are doing, because it just, it's a soul crusher. It's a soul crusher. So I just recommend that you just stop doing it. And the thing is those of you who are in our community, either in VA School or VIP Club, that's a nice, gentle place to show people where you are and to be who you are and to have support for improving what you're doing in a way that's constructive, right? Versus looking at someone else and saying, I'll never be as fill in the blank as that person. Right. And it's easy to do. You can look at people who've been doing this for longer. Well, you could look at me, right? You could look at me and you could say, oh, wow, I'll never be as good as Belinda. Or you can say, okay, look what she did. All right. She did case studies. Let's do case studies. And here I am saying, use them, do it, be inspired by it. So it's a fine line. It's really a fine line. Yes. So let's just look at the comments. Let's see. Okay, so Brene Brown taught me that. Yeah, she's a cool person. Really struggling in the comparison department. Yeah, I know. And it makes you feel very behind, right? And Dana says she feels like she missed the boat. It's too late for me. I know, right? So I see we have chicken comments in here too, which is awesome. Good. I'm glad I'm hitting a nerve here, because it's so important. And the other thing I noticed, I was talking to someone in my family this week, and they were talking about the moment their life went off track, and it was a long time ago. And I thought, wow, so nothing else is good enough because it's not what the original plan was. And I could see that, but my life is not the original plan. I mean, my plan, I don't even know anymore, but it definitely involved getting married. It definitely involved having a couple of kids, living in a house. It involved all the things that were I wanted, I don't know what the word to use. So when I turned 50, I thought that would all be handled, and it wasn't. I guess that's the best way to say it, right? The best way to say it. So really, I've narrowed my scope of who I let in. I don't tell everyone what I'm doing. People don't understand. Sometimes people don't understand VA work. Sometimes people definitely do not understand the VA connection. When I go to a party and they ask me what I do, I'm like, it's okay, because because they're not gonna work with me, so it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna, and we're gonna talk about what to say in a minute when you meet someone. But I just don't. Here's the point. I don't talk about all my ideas for my business and for my life with everyone. Like I have a business coach. I talk to her about my ideas. Greg, I sort of tell what I'm doing as an point of information or conversation, because he doesn't know anything about online, Facebook, social media, training, any of it. He has no idea. He's an accountant, and it's perfect, because I go do my thing, he does his, and then we have things in the middle. So just be careful. And, my friend Michael Katz, we have this saying, he'll call me up on the phone or I'll call him. And when we have this like brand new idea, and we'll say, okay, I'm going to tell you something, but don't kill my baby. And what that means is don't point out all the things of why this is a ridiculous idea unless someone's going to die immediately, right? So I'll say, like the VA connection, I'm like, don't kill my baby. I think I want to do this thing. And he's like, okay, good. What are you thinking? And I ask him his opinion about a couple of things, and and he's being very careful with the words he's using. And we've been doing that for 12 years, don't kill my baby. So find a don't kill my baby person, and talk to them. And I can be that in study hall for you. All right. So, so let's see what's going on over here. So imposter syndrome is debilitating. We all go there. Yeah. I feel so behind. I feel like a dinosaur in this new virtual world. Yeah, my life. Yeah, Dana, I know you're going through a lot of changes. My life is definitely not part of the original plan. Our mind tells us stories. Life is such a mindset game, staying clear and focused, right? Trusting my own process. Yeah. Yeah. So what does Dana say? I think that contributes to the comparing, that my life is kind of happening by default rather than intention. People who have always known what they've wanted and are doing it, no matter what, have always had my admiration. So I want you to, so we're going to talk about what to do instead. Okay. But one of the things I want you to get good at is talking to yourself. Like you're talking to yourself already, but I want you to take charge of the conversation. Right. I want you to take charge. Now you can do this a couple different ways. One way, and this takes practice. I'm talking years of practice, but it's worth it. Is like the other day, I was in the bathroom, was drying my hair, and I was having a conversation with someone who has not been in my life in a really long time. And I realized what I was doing, and I stopped myself. I said, okay, what do you need? Why are you doing this? Like, what do you need? Do you need a connection? Do you need to be like, are you angry about something? Like, what do you need that you are doing this? And I stopped. And you can stop a couple different ways. You can move. You can think about something else. You can put someone else's voice in your head, like Audible, get a book, get Brene Brown, right? Put her in your head, because it's really hard to have a conversation with someone else and pay attention to someone talking to you, right? That's hard to do. So those are the things that I want you to think about doing, okay? So here's the thing. This is what I learned last week. I was listening to Audible. I was out on a walk by myself, and I was listening to that book that I keep telling you guys about called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I just finished it. And the last part, what she says is that in order, so you want to change your behavior, you have to have a strategy. Okay. You have to have a strategy. It's not about willpower. It's not about being smart enough or anything enough. It's about having willpower. So what you want, it's about having a strategy. Sorry. But I spent, up until I was 40 thinking I didn't have enough willpower to get what I wanted. That's not the idea. If the plan is to lose 10 pounds, go to the store and buy whole food, buy fresh eggs, buy lettuce, buy, whole wheat, whatever, but don't buy, jujubes and candy canes, like make sure that you have food easily accessible. And we have a plan. That's how I maintain my weight, is that Greg asks me in the morning, what time are we having lunch? I meet him in the kitchen. We cook a healthy meal together. We sit down and we eat it. And we do the same thing at dinner. And we always make sure that the food for those meals is here, because otherwise I'll eat pizza, which is fine, but then I won't feel good, and I want to feel good, right? So you have to put the strategies in place. And the same thing goes for your business. Have a short list of things you're working on your business. So when you have imposter syndrome coming, what you do is you say to yourself, okay, stop. Where's my list? And then you pick the thing and you just start doing it. Now, I am circling around this right now. We do not have a page. We have a product. It's called Done For You Website in a Box for Virtual Assistants. We've had it for 2 years. We don't have a sales page because I don't want to write it. And I'm going to start today. And so I am going through all the things of, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I know the product's good, but I don't know how I'm going to explain it. It's really complicated. Like, you should hear what's been going on in my head for 2 years, but I'm going to handle it. All right. And I want you to do the same thing. Now, here's what I want you to do instead. Okay. This is what I want you to do instead of comparing yourself. So let me just check the comments. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do, because there are things you can do. I'm telling you, there are things you can do. All right. And this is a good lesson to learn quickly. Okay. Because the alternative is wasting time. Right. So what I want you to do, instead of comparing yourself to others, figure out what to say in your head, like, okay, that's fine. Well, first of all, stop looking. Okay, just stop looking, because we all know. You go on the computer, you Google people, you go into this deep, dark place, and you just start the engine of talking about all the stuff in your head, right? And then maybe you drag yourself to bed. So stop that late night fooling around. Do something better than that. Okay, read a book or something. Okay. So what I want you to do instead is I want you to learn how to clearly and confidently talk about your work. This is something all of you can do. All right. Now I teach you how to do that in a blog post over at the VA Connection. Okay. It's called Clearly Explain What You Do. So just put that in the blog search. Clearly explain what you do. And then I want you to practice this. This is like one of the number one most important things you can do to get your business going. This is a really good use of your time. We also taught this in the challenge on day 2, and that challenge is available through tomorrow. You can watch through tomorrow the replays. It's the VA Connection /replay. Look at day 2. I go into all the details of how to do this specifically. Okay. And I tell you the why, the whole thing. So really good resource. It's going to be taken down. What day is this? Thursday morning or Wednesday night. All right. So that's a good use of your time too. All you have to do though is you have to practice. You have to be able to be very conversational so that it's relaxed. So someone says, are you going on vacation? You say, yeah, we're going to, wherever. What do you do for work? I'm a virtual assistant. It's got to be very conversational. All right. Now, the next thing I want you to do is to be professional. Now, here's what I mean by that. You've probably heard about, dress for the job you want to have. I want you to do the same thing. So I want you to do things like, make sure your lighting is okay when you're on Zoom. My lighting was $24 total for these 2 lamps I got at Target, which is like kind of Walmart-ish for those of you who don't know what that is. You'll notice I'm in the frame. My head is at the top. We're not looking up at my nose, right? So make sure and you can do that with something as simple as a Kleenex box. Yesterday, I couldn't get my what is it called? Chrome was frozen, and I couldn't get on Zoom. So I grabbed my laptop, propped it up on a Kleenex box. So you might have to do some things like that. All right. And even at your phone, you can get a little tripod for hardly any money if you're going to use your phone, and put it so that you're lined up. Okay. You also want to check things like your outgoing voicemail message. You want to get a headshot where you look good. It's not 10 years old and it's dark and you're standing next to someone at a party. Go outside, use your phone, take your own headshot. Okay. So you just want to make sure that, and show up on time. If you have a Zoom meeting with someone, show up right on time. Okay. If you have a phone call with someone, here's what I do. I have their phone number up, and I have regular calls with one client at 8 o'clock every Friday morning. I am here at 8:58, and when it turns 8 o'clock, I press call. It's impressive. It's impressive, and people laugh at me, but they like it. They like it. Okay, so it looks like so Kimberly says comparison is a form of negative thinking that can stop us from achieving our dreams. That's right. Control the controllables and let go of the rest. I practice conversations all the time. I hope you're talking about the conversation about what you do. We'll say that you are. So Lisa DeToffel, she says, my laptop is on a shoebox so that it's at eye level. Yeah. Your business name. Oh, thank you. Your business name is brilliant. It represents you well. I'm having trouble with my business name. Any tips? Yes, absolutely. Pick a word that you like. It could be Yellowbird Virtual Assistants. It could be Pink Flamingo Virtual Assistants. It could be, you just don't overthink it. It's not going to be like, well, it's important and I want you to like it, but it doesn't have to be like, here's an example. I like my logo. I like my branding. But I didn't spend a jillion hours like tweaking it a tiny bit here and a tiny bit there because it's good enough. And your business name is sort of the same thing. So play with friends, pick one friend and play word games, use the thesaurus and start fooling around and see what comes up. But don't ask 20 people, one person, that's it. And then you and that person decide, and then you're done. All right. And pick someone who's good at it. Okay, pick someone who pick a friend who's a good writer or, is cool and edgy and, they can help you pick something out. But don't make it a committee situation or it'll never happen. Okay. Good. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, well, actually, there's two things. I want you to keep your pricing simple. A lot of virtual assistants believe they need several hourly rates for different services they're providing. They think that, some things are more valuable than others. So it's not true. Okay. So just don't complicate it. The number one reason that businesses fail is people overcomplicate it. You need to keep it simple so people understand and you can talk about it without confusing them. Okay. So I want you to just remember that clients are hiring you. They're not hiring you for the tasks. Yes, you do the work, but they're hiring you. And for whatever you can do, want to do, you can charge whatever you want. Now, I charge $90 an hour. And I do that whether I'm answering an email or I'm building, some marketing automation. It's the same price. No one has ever said anything. Okay. And then the last thing I want to say is that I want you to stop trying to get strangers to hire you. Okay. Just the best clients are going to be referrals, 100%. And so by being clear about your work, by being professional and by being clear about your prices, you can talk to a wide range of people in your life, let them know what you're up to, and they're going to tell other people. It's just like when you go to coffee with a friend and she says, I need a new dentist. You cannot wait to tell her about your dentist if you like it. You're going to be the same thing. Okay. So make sure that people know what you're doing. This is a much, much better use of your time. All right. So take back the reins and know that, again, it's human nature to compare yourself, but it's also stalling. It's also stalling. So maybe what happens is when you find yourself doing this, you say, why are you stalling? Like, what's going on? What's going on? Okay. It's not going to get you where you want to be. And the key to remember is it's an inside job and you're up for it and you're in control of it. All right, good. So let's see what we've got. So Lisa says, my favorite football team is Clemson Tigers. So my business name is Tiger Eye Solutions. I didn't know that was why. That's great. And so Dana says, I love the mountains, chose Peak Virtual Solutions for the name of my business. So it has dual meanings. Right. Peak is in mountains and peak is in the greatest. Yes. And Christine says, that's why I love your debit card system. I spent way too many hours before I discovered you on packages and how to price them. Easy peasy. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense out on the internet about, retainers and packages and monthly. It's all nonsense. So just definitely check that out. Yeah, and Carol says comparison is a self-made roadblock to derail you from reaching your set goals. That's absolutely right. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. We have to scoot, but I want to tell you, go over to, this is a rare opportunity, okay? Right now, all the replays from the challenge are right there. So you can go pluck them out and watch them. And if you're wondering how to talk about your services better, watch day 2. If you are interested in learning about how to charge one rate and get paid upfront, go to the Facebook group, not the VA Connection, but the Kickstart Challenge group, and join it if you're not a member, and go up into the guides and you'll see there's a bonus session on the debit card course. Watch that and get that figured out for yourself. Okay, good. Now, in the meantime, we wrapped up with VA school enrollment last night. Very exciting. So if you're new to us and you're coming in after the Kickstart Challenge, join our big free online classroom. We have almost 29,000 members. I'd love to have you. So search for the VA Connection in the search bar at the top of Facebook. Click the join button, answer the questions, and come on in. All right, you guys, have a great week. I'm excited. We've got a lot going on. Thanks for coming to Lessons from the Cockpit. We go live here every Tuesday at 10:30. So mark your calendar, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye for now.